The following video is not made for kids under 13. If you are not 13 years old, please exit out of the video now. And please, YouTube, do not sue me. Hey guys, Mooky here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku Had Archer's Powers. This is part 14, so let's get into this. After a couple days after the sports festival and hearing about what happened with Ingenium, Izuku is surprised hearing that Ida's older brother is now in the hospital and in critical condition, no longer able to be a hero anymore. As Izuku is worried for his friend's well-being. After arriving near school, he runs into Ida, basically asking if he's doing okay after what happened with his brother. Ida tells him, "I understand that you're worried for me, but there's nothing to worry about. Trust me. I promise you, I'm doing fine, Midoriya." As Izuku says, "Okay. That's good to hear." They arrive in their class as everyone begins talking about their what happened during the sports festival, as everyone tells them, as Sero still gets the peg top saying, "Nice try," at least "nice try," as usual by Kirishima and Kaminari. Soon after, Bakugo came up to Izuku saying, "Hey, Deku, care to explain on what the heck was all that about? I really want to know about that, your quirk. I didn't know your quirk could do something like that." As he tells him, "Oh yeah, I just thought of it on the spot over the time when I was training for the sports festival. It was the first time using it. Actually, I was going to use it against both you and Todoroki. Hope you don't, sorry to disappoint you, Kachan." As Bakugo tells him, "Doesn't matter. It pisses me off that I didn't have a chance to beat you against it, but at least next time I know I can kick your ass when you use it, because I know what I'd be expecting." As everyone feels, seriously, their rivalry is intense, especially for their friendship. How can you stand it? I'm really lucky for Midoriya. As Kirishima says, "Bakugo's an okay dude. Trust me. I can't imagine what he'd be if he was a lot more worse." As Bakugo says, "What do you say, shitty hair?" Yes, "Oh, nothing." Soon after, Aizawa comes into the room and tells everyone to be prepared and be ready to go to and tell them about what happened, about the offers they were given for internships after the sports festival. As the highest percentage, the one who got the highest percentage was Shoto, just like in canon. However, in second, this time was Izuku, and in third, Bakugo. As everyone's surprised seeing this, as wondering, Bakugo was the one who won the sports festival. Why did he get third? As everyone begins to realize, probably because of Midoriya's power, quirk, and ability. That's something. Any hero will want something like that on their side. As Izuku feels a little bit embarrassed. Not only that, the white patch on his hair, the white patch that was in the front of his hair is starting to fade back into green. So you can only see a little bit of white back in the front of his hair now. So he's almost back to his usual self. Soon after, now that you have these offers, you're going to have to choose. You're going to be focusing on hero core, on our number one hero core. You're going to have to choose your code names. As everyone gets excited that they finally get to choose their hero names. As Izuku been wondering on what he's going to choose for his hero name. He's always being able to create things just by seeing them once. It's always been, never actually thought about creating weapons. He never actually thought on much about his hero name. But he has realized something. There was one thing he's always been good at. If anything, he's always been the best at. As midnight came into the room and be judging everyone's name and allowing them. As everyone begins giving out their names just like in canon as usual, Izuku decides to give out his hero name. And this timeline, he won't be going with Deku. Because however, Bakugo does call Izuku Deku, but not in the way of an insult, calling him beneath him or calling him nothing. More just like of a simple nickname. He just thinks of it more like just how friends would call each other, something by calling them by a simple nickname as well. And it's the only way for Bakugo to remember Izuku anyway. So yeah. So in this timeline, Izuku will go by a different name. In this timeline, Izuku will be known as the projection hero, Archer. As everybody begins wondering on why he would be called Archer. I mean, he could be called Swordsman or Blade Master or something like that, since he mostly uses swords anyway. As he tells him, it's true. My quirk I mostly do create swords, but I also have tons of lances, spears, and not only that, the number one thing I'm actually good at has always been archery. So it only makes sense that I would use a name that dignifies who I truly am, and that is Archer. Because to me, I'm more of an archer than I am a swordsman. As Ochiko begins smiling, seeing this, same thing also goes with Momo as well. Feeling actually hearing this from Izuku. And Bakugo saying, dork. As everyone prepares to leave and see what internship that they're going to choose for themselves. Since Izuku had tons of offers, he's wondering if he should go with a high-ranking pro, thinking about going with either Best Genus, Gang Orca, or maybe even Reikyu. As everyone begins wondering on what kind of intern they should go with. As Ochiko says that she's going to still go with Gunhead, just like in canon, to focus on martial arts training, since she doesn't really know much. As Izuku says that he's going to think about it they still have at least a couple days before they can choose their internship. As Momo says that she would want to go with the one that Izuku would choose, and instead of going with Oroba, like in canon, but Izuku says, I don't think you should go with one I go with. Trust me, I think you should choose what you feel like is right. Don't you think, Yagirozu? As she says, if you say so, but I'll go if you say so. So, and decides to go. She decides to enter. As a side, she decides to go with Power Loader so she can figure out how to create more technology-based creations instead of just focusing on things using certain materials. But still wants to figure out which one that Izuku's going with. As Izuku leaves class, he wonders if he runs into All Might, as All Might tells him that he found an internship for him, saying that it's from Gran Torino. Because of this, as Izuku begins wondering, who's Gran Torino? Out of all the heroes, I've never heard of him before. As he says, Gran Torino was my master's closest friend and a teacher during my first year in UA. As Izuku begins freaking out, wait, really? Oh my god, that's so awesome! And soon after All Might hearing this, he begins thinking to himself, oh, this kid is so naive. As he tells him, he wants you to choose him for his internship. and probably help him master One for All. As Izuku begins realizing that All Might hasn't turned to him for a while, and realizing that his legs are shaking, as he begins thinking, wait, oh my god, what did this guy do to him? He begins going through his head. But realizing that this is the person to train All Might, he couldn't pass up the opportunity and decided to go with Gran Torino as his internship. Soon after, a couple days have passed and everyone prepares to go for their internships as usual. And as Izuku sees Ida heading off to heading off to the train to go to Manuel's agency for his internship. As Izuku tells Ida, hey, Ida, if you ever need to talk during your internship, I'm always willing. Just call me. As Ida tells him, thank you, Midoriya. I really appreciate it. As Ida turns around with a glare of vengeance towards Stain, as Izuku arrives in front of Gran Torino's agency apartment, and is ready for his step as to become a hero. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it a lot. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment below and tell me what you guys think. Also subscribe if you feel like catching up with my other videos. Check me out on my Twitch channel as well when I do Let's Plays from time to time. And playthroughs too. I finally got that back up, so hope you enjoy. At any rate, this is Mooky signing out. Later.